This ain't no echo chamber. We're unlocking any chain. The devil's advocate speaking, cutting through the fog. Let us explain. Yeah.
Pull up, turn the volume, let the bass ignite. Devil's advocates, that's the channel. Together we fight. They ain't here to echo what the masses preach. They challenge beliefs, putting truth within reach. Flip the script, reverse the lens, ain't no fear to provoke. Unpopular opinions, watch the stagnant water smoke. They dissect the narrative, poke holes in the facade. Sharpening the mind, ain't no truth, no disregard.
This ain't no echo chamber. We're unlocking any chain. Devil's advocate speaking, cutting through the fog. Let us explain.
See the description hit hard, that's the blueprint to code. Not everyone likes it, but that's the path they strode. Challenging beliefs, that's the mission to aim. Flipping tables on conventional, fanning intellectual flame. Stepping opposing view, not for conflicts embrace, but to sharpen the blade of truth. Leave no logical trace of error or bias or thoughts that just float. They dig to the core, let the arguments bloat with substance and reason, not just empty retort. They building up thinkers, a mental fortress of fort.
This ain't no echo chamber. We're unlocking any chain. Devil's advocate speaking, cutting through the fog. Let us explain.
You don't go by always being right, that's a stagnant pool. Growth comes from questioning, breaking every rigid rule. Honest conversations, bold questions, a few uncomfortable facts. They lay it all bare, no turning back, no looking back. Seeking clarity over debate, either way you win. They push you to understand where your own thoughts begin. So hit that subscribe button, let the knowledge unfurl. The devil's advocates, changing your whole world. Yeah, it might make you squirm, but that's how you transcend. Listen to the devil's advocates till the very end.
Peace.
Ladies and gentlemen, do you want to know why I'm here today? It's not because I want to give you a pep talk or because I want to make you feel good about yourselves. No, I'm here to tell you the truth.
Hey, hopefully my sound is good today and not in a drawer where it doesn't belong like I did on my audio this morning. Oh my God, nothing is worse than going on a rant, which is fairly good. At least you thought. You're like, this is fairly good. This is going to be a good video. It got some good points. It got some salient points here. And then you listen to it back on editing and you're like, why does it sound like I'm underwater? Oh my God, did I just leave the microphone in the drawer? Next, I need a better studio. I don't have one of those boom mics that hang up here, and I might do that. Jeremy Pearsons, thanks for saying hi. Woon, thanks for coming in. Got Kimberly showing up just before a workout because that's dedication. Yeah, that's dedication. So thanks for doing that. Again, workout is utmost important. Thank you so much for that. So Woon likes my 150 to 200 video. Fantastic. I don't even remember what I say in different ones. Like sometimes, like even when I get comments on the videos and I'm like, did I say that? Did I? Like, and I'm gonna go hit the stripper. Some of the stuff I'm not even sure what the hell I do. Kimberly says my sound sounds good. Crystal White, thanks for coming up. Thank you so much for being part of the show. By the way, sometimes, and I don't want to. I almost hesitate saying this because I don't want to encourage my supporters to spend too much money that they really don't need to spend. You're already doing enough by being here and supporting the channel. But sometimes I get supporters that want to give some gift memberships away. And just to let you know, if you want to get a gift membership, when you're looking in the live, in the lower corner, I think there's a button that you can click on that has a little $sign. You need to make sure you go into those settings and that you allow gifts to be given to you. So there's an option for allow yourself to get gifts during lives. You need to have that turned on, because every once in a while, one of my gracious viewers who like to support the show, and they're fantastic, will just throw out gift memberships. And if you don't have that turned on, you don't get one of those free gift memberships. So check that out if you get a chance right now, if you want to do it, so that you have a chance. And there's not a lot of us here. That's the great thing about this at this moment, is we're a small, intimate little group. So we're one-on-one. I don't know if you watched my latest document drops. I had 2 this morning. What I'm trying to do, and I don't think I'm going to do it tonight. I think I'm taking a break tonight. I try to get through 50 documents at a time on those MPD documents. I'm so far behind. I watch other content creators. I got people asking me all the time, what do you think about Pav's new video? What do you think about Harsh's new video? What do you think about this new video? And I'm like, I don't even have time to do my own videos right now. I need to get better organized, and I'm working on it. I'm trying to get some support for some people to help me with the backstage of my account, trying to help me with some of the videos, because I'm trying to focus on content. I'm working more than when I worked at an IT job. I'm working more and harder now than I was working at the IT job. Shh, don't tell my old boss. He'll be super pissed about that. Joni never misses my drops. Thank you so much for checking that out, Joni. I appreciate that. The lives, by the way, the lives are just not working great for me. So I've moved the time slot to this time, which is 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, which is like 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then, of course, other time zones across the world, because this is an international audience. Although I wouldn't think Idaho 4 would be an international audience, but I was surprised. We got a lot of people from Australia and England and whatever that are watching, watching the Idaho 4 case of all things, which is actually kind of, in a way, over. And yet they're still hanging on and watching the show. And I'm not trying to milk it. I promise you, I'm not trying to milk Kohberger for every last cent that I can get out of him, as some of you might think. I'm not doing that. We're reviewing the documents because, as I believed from the very beginning, this case is a largely circumstantial case. And while I know a lot of you are sleeping a lot easier tonight thinking a monster is off the street because he admitted guilt, that case was a very, very circumstantial case with holes all over it and better suspects, which leads you to wonder why the hell we didn't have a trial. Why didn't Kohberger roll the dice on his thing? I guess you could argue he didn't want to be killed and he figured it was not a fair trial. And to be fair, it was not a fair trial, in my opinion. The documents, the police drop is making it clear that was not a fair trial. They narrowed their focus down to Brian Kohberger. Once they had his name, everybody else was ruled out. Nobody started to look down any other path. They were only looking at Brian Kohberger. Luigi Mangione is still in my mind. Luigi Mangione is writing letters to people. You know, he's written a letter to me. That's the United Healthcare situation. That is a dicey story for me, because again, I believe in the presumption of innocence until proven guilty. But Luigi Mangione is the alleged shooter of Brian Thompson, and that situation has a lot of people feeling they're not sure how to feel about it, because they think that maybe it is true that Luigi Mangione did it, but do they care? And that's the part that gets you in trouble. Do you care if he did it or not? That gets you in trouble, because we don't believe, for example, in vigilante justice in this country, and we don't believe that in anarchy, and we don't believe that somebody should just take the law into their own hands. And yet there's a huge sympathetic factor for a predatory healthcare system in America. We've also got Long Island serial killer, Rex Heuermann. And by the way, I have a big interview lined up with a major attorney in the Rex Heuermann case, and I'm trying to get people interested, but those videos aren't quite taking off. I don't know. I think what it is, of course, all focus right now in the true crime community seems to be on the Brian Kohberger case, and I get it, but I'm trying to get people to kind of not necessarily shift, because I'm not done with Brian Kohberger, but to start paying attention to the Long Island serial killer case, because that case is going to be enormous. Crazy shit. If you don't know about, I mean, I'm just coming up to speed with myself. Literally, did you know that Shannon Gilbert, the woman who basically went missing and led to the search for Shannon Gilbert, what led to the discovery of the Gilgo 4 bodies on Gilgo Beach in New York, Long Island, did you know that 4 years after hiring an attorney who is as a big name attorney, There's a hint for you, by the way, on who I've got coming up on my show. But the point being is that hired a big name attorney, and 4 years after trying to get justice for who killed her daughter, because they ruled it an accidental death, did you know that her own daughter, one of her other surviving daughter, stabbed the mother to death 271 times and beat her face in with a fire extinguisher? Holy shit. Like, you can't make that shit up. This story is off the rails. And that's a side story. That's a side story. So yeah, it's a super crazy story. Let's take a look what's going on. Somebody lost all the documents. Can somebody, I lost in all the documents. Maybe you mean you're lost in all the documents. By the way, one of the super things that I want to tell you guys that I'm super thankful about is a lot of you have been telling me that, yeah, everybody and their dog, every YouTuber who's in true crime, every YouTuber who's covering the Idaho 4 case, they're covering the documents. But a lot of you have really, really given me a real moral boost by telling me that you enjoy my take on it better than some others. And so while others are definitely beating me to the punch, I'm slow. I'm still on, well, I just finished documents 250. So I'm through 1 through 250. There's 317. So I'm nearly done. But a lot of you have been super, super gracious in telling me that you prefer hearing my take on it because I add a little bit of humor and a little bit of side rant that makes it a little bit less dry when reading through line after line of documents. In fact, I don't read you line after line after document. I don't even cover every single document. I hit the highlights. I hit a F-ton of highlights. And so I cover a lot of it, more than I need to. But then I side rant, and a lot of people appreciate the side rants because it makes it a little less boring. So I appreciate that. Joni, for example, says, love your rants, no drama, just facts. Hey, that should be a slogan. No drama, just facts. My slogan, by the way, that I've kind of picked up lately is facts over feelings. But no drama, just facts is pretty badass. I like that. Woon says that your take is the best because you're a slow and slow, sir. Have you listened to me speak? Am I slow? You're slow and methodical about it instead of rushing over it. My shit is never slow. I get what you mean, though. I am going through with a fine-tooth comb and I'm pointing out even little things that I think other people may miss. I don't know if they miss it or not, but I feel like there's things that other people miss that I catch up on. So hopefully you agree that I have an eye for detail and I catch some things. Now, granted, I make mistakes. Clearly, I make mistakes, and you guys will help me with those mistakes, and I'm okay. I'm a humble guy. I can take knowing about mistakes. So that does happen from time to time. Let's see what else we got. Jeremy Pearson, regular. Jeremy Pearson, thank you so much. You're a super supporter. See you all the time. I appreciate it so much. And yeah, we love your take. Take your time. I'll always be tuning in. I appreciate it. I get that a lot about. You know, Allie takes on Murdaugh. Her being so close. Yes. Has she gone on? I know Birdie Bombshell kind of like jokingly, was he not joking? I don't know if he was joking. And I have no beef with Birdie Bombshell. Make sure you understand this when I say this. But Birdie Bombshell on the last episode, when I was on with Ali Benevento on his show, he said to Ali, oh, I want you on my show to talk about Alec and Devil's Advocate. If you don't know anything about it, you can just stay away. And I'm like, wow, I just got my good friend Ali scooped from me, and I've been told don't come on the show. It's just me and Ali, and that's okay. To be fair, I haven't covered the Murdaugh case, and Ali did know the Murdaughs personally. Like, she actually had dinner with them, and she knew the family. She has some great insights. I will watch that show whether or not I'm on this show. And I know Birdie's he was joking about it. Don't take it serious. Birdie and I have no beef. Birdie and I have a really good relationship, and it's wonderful. So yeah, that's going to be a good thing for us. All right. What else do we got in the comments? Just popped in from Harsh's stream. Oh, 24/7 true crime these days. Harsh is my favorite. And I don't mean that with any disrespect to any other content creator, but Harsh Reality is my absolute favorite. Love that guy. I wish I could talk to him. I wish I could get on a live with them. I've tried a couple times. I'm not going to beg. But Harsh is primo to me. Love his shit. I feel like someone joked a long time ago, and the more I look at us, I think Harsh, I am the American version of Harsh Reality, a little faster, but oh my God, we have the same kind of jokes. We break into song at random times when something reminds us of a lyric. I mean, it's just, that guy is like a clone of me, other than I talk 20 times faster than he does. But I mean, a lot of the same thought process. That guy and I are kindred spirits, whether he realizes it or not. I feel like I'm very, very in lockstep with that guy. So I love that show. Thanks for stopping by during Harsh's show, because that guy's top notch in my opinion. And again, that's not to say, let me say as well, Birdie Bombshells is amazing. Pete Altieri, respect the shit out of that guy. Pete Altieri and I are developing a personal friendship. We've got each other's cell phone numbers. We talk on a regular basis. Same with Birdie. We're on a friendship basis. You know, it's a great thing. Pavarotti, while I don't have any friendship with him, I respect the shit out of that guy. Lana, Truth and Transparency, I respect what she does. I don't have a lot of experience with her. I don't even watch a lot of her videos. But these top-notch creators, they're top-notch for a reason. They are doing the right shit, and they're getting the word out there. So I love the fact that a lot of the people who watch me watch them, because I have a lot of respect. Nico Nura Nuggets, by the way, is one of the ones that I watch on a regular. She's like my just dirty little secret. Like, I watch her show. She's amazing. I don't ever really comment on her videos. I don't talk about her videos a lot, but I really like her stuff as well. What else do we got? Looking through here. Thank you by Inside Your Bones. That always sounds, anyways, it's okay. I'm good. How are you today? So welcome to see you. Good to see you. You are a mega commenter. Inside Your Bones. Yes, you are a mega commenter. You're right. Supported the channel. Thank you so much for your support. Absolutely outstanding. Alion Murdaugh would be awesome. Yes, I agree. Alion Murdaugh would be awesome. I can't wait to see what she has to say. I've never talked to her about it in detail. A little bit, but not in detail. So you think intelligent thoughts. I would hope so. One of the things I will say, it's not my looks, and it's not anything about me. The only thing I've ever had going for me in life, this is my rant on myself. The only thing I've ever had going for me in life is I'm smart. I have an above average IQ. I tested very high in IQ. And it's the only thing I've had going for me. It's actually what kept me during the 80s from doing drugs. Don't do drugs, because this is your brain on drugs. I was terrified. I'm like, the fucking only thing I've got going for me is that I'm a smart guy. So I wasn't going to do drugs or anything that destroyed the brain. Now, that's a side tangent, but the point being is, thank you so much for saying that. It's the one thing I pride myself on, is I think I'm a relatively smart guy, but I don't want to be egotistical about it. But I appreciate that so much. Good day, mate from Australia. Good day. Thank you so much. So I didn't know, Inside Bones, you're from Australia. I got a lot. Why does it feel like I've got a lot of people from Australia? Very, very cool. What else do we got? Looking through the comments, because again, we're a small little group here. A little Twizzle Stick. I haven't really talked too much about. I'm curious what she thinks too. Being caught in the kennels is kind of sus, in my opinion. Twizzle Stick, I just wanted to say, by the way, I can't remember when I met you in person. You made some kind of comment that I may have misunderstood, which was something of like keeping your identity a little down low or whatever. And so I didn't want to call you out too much. So I want you to understand that when I've seen you in my shows lately, me not calling you out is like, I'm not sure what he said about keeping his identity low. But yes, for those who don't know, Twizzle Sticks and I met in person. Loved meeting that guy. And so it was a very cool experience. I met other people in line. I met other YouTubers in line for the Kohberger sentencing, and it was a fantastic experience. So thank you, Twizzle Stick, by the way. You lightened my day and my mood. It was a great experience meeting you. I would love to be able to have you on the show sometime if you're interested, but that's up to you. Just wanted to let you know, I see you every time you're in here, even though I don't always call you out, but I wanted to call you out today and say, thank you so much for chatting me in line and keeping me entertained that evening. That was fantastic. What else do we got? Oh, I feel like I just went backwards. Let's see. Harsh's FBI DNA sample doubled in size. Yeah, that did he talk about this DNA sample? I've talked about this before too. Harsh, is the FBI DNA sample doubled in size? I've talked about the FBI. Ann Taylor talked about how the FBI sample doubled in size and wanted to know how. And they basically told her that they weren't going to tell them how they got it doubled in size. What else do we got? Nika's cool. I agree. I like Nika's got a vibe. You know, Nika's got a vibe. Beautiful woman. She's really smart and articulate. She's confident. I guess more confident than me. Do you see that? Did you see the time Nika was like literally loading bullets into a clip and saying, "I'm not afraid if you guys bring it"? Like I was like, that takes some balls. Of course, she doesn't have balls. Well, I don't think she. Anyways, point being is that I like her take. She's smart. She's articulate. She's good. Good shit. I like it. What else do we got? Dina Seitz, hello, DA in chat. Thank you for stopping in. You are also a regular, and I appreciate you coming so much. And again, this is like a really small group. So let me know if you guys got anything particular. I'll try to keep, I'm trying to read through stuff. No negative self-talk. I am really, really working on the negative. I'm working on the negative self-talk. You don't understand. I will try to. You don't understand. I had a history of negative self-talk that has been beaten into me for a very, very, very long time. And part of me, and I'll try to be brief so it doesn't sound like negative self-talk, part of me prided myself on the fact that I'm so careful to not hurt anyone's feelings. So I'm always apologetic. Hey, look, I'm going to tell you something and it might hurt your feelings. And I don't want to hurt your feelings. And it comes off as disingenuine. Somebody has told me, but I didn't get it for 30 years. They're like, you know, when you do this apology all the time, it makes you look like you're not an honest person, like you're actually doing the opposite. You tell people you don't want to offend them, but it sounds like you really do want to offend them. No, I don't want to offend you. I've spent 30 years beaten down. Only the corpses of rebels, ashes of dreams, and blood-stained streets. Okay, that's a Motley Crue thing. I just couldn't help it. I just went to Motley Crue. Do you remember that intro to Shout at the Devil? I do random side tangents. Anyways, point being is it's been beaten into my mind to be over-apologetic. I am trying to learn how to undo that. The problem I have is when I do undo it and I don't apologize for things, I'm thinking, oh my God, you sound like an arrogant prick. Just tell people what you think and don't be apologetic about it. Well, I am apologetic about it. I don't want to hurt your feelings. So I'm constantly struggling because I get the message loud and clear. You guys are like, stop being so apologetic. Just say shit and move on. And I'm working on it. But maybe I should have had therapy a long time ago, which I didn't do. Can we talk about Ghislaine Maxwell being transferred to a minimum security federal prison in Texas? I wonder what that means, if anything. So what a random question for my show. I have never talked to you about Epstein or Ghislaine Maxwell. Yes, that is a major story. I'm super, super interested in that whole story. I was deep in that stuff, but I've never talked about it on this show. I didn't hear about Ghislaine Maxwell being transferred to minimum security. However, I think that whole case, including the Jeffrey Epstein didn't kill himself bullshit, meaning he didn't kill himself. Jeffrey Epstein 100% did not kill himself. That was a murder. But you guys can believe whatever you want. If you don't believe that, Jeffrey Epstein was silenced because they didn't want to have that trial and they didn't want people's names coming out. Ghislaine Maxwell made a deal, I think, to make sure names didn't come out. And to this day, while we were told that names will come out, names won't come out because there's too big a names. There are names that go all the way up. And on that list of people who have interacted with, including Bill Gates, by the way, top people interacted with Epstein to the point that divorces happened over why the fuck are you hanging out with Jeffrey Epstein? Anyways, side tangent. Thanks for asking. I don't have a take on her being transferred to minimum security because, well, I didn't really read into that too much. All right, what else have we got? What do you think about Rex never going on vacation with his family? Now, what you're talking about, Woon, is Rex Heuermann, who allegedly stayed home when his family was on vacation. For whatever reasons he gave them, they would go on vacation. His wife and his elder son and daughter, they would go on vacation. Well, they weren't always elder. But the point being is they would go on vacations and Rex would stay home, which gave him ample opportunity, allegedly, to be a serial killer and to go get prostitutes and maybe bring them over, maybe even bring them to the house and torture prostitutes in the basement of their house. That is what is the allegation. So what do I think about him never going on vacation with his family? Well, some of those make perfect sense. He had good, legitimate reasons not to go on vacation with his family. Was he not going though, so that he could play when the cat is away? Because when the cat is away, the mice will play. So and that was one sick mice or cat, I should say. So, or the mice. So that's right. If the cat is away, the mice will play. It's one sick mouse. All right. The point being is that Rex Heuermann, again, now I have to be careful because I believe in the presumption of innocence until proven guilty. And so therefore, let's see. I think chances are good Rex Heuermann probably has killed people. The question is, did he kill them all? The body count may end up being in the hundreds. There is indication from the attorney that represents the families, Shannon Gilbert, who's been saying Rex Heuermann may have body count in the hundreds. And by the way, Rex Heuermann may have been doing this for 30 years. And by the way, Rex Heuermann may have friends that are cops. And by the way, cops may have looked the other way during the investigation because they didn't want their shit being exposed. So John Ray, the attorney for Shannon Gilbert's family, fascinates the piss out of me because this guy's right in my wheelhouse. He's talking about shit that's right in my wheelhouse. So yeah, I'm excited about this case. And I guess what I'm going to say at the end of the day is I am now finally, because John Ray is bringing up shit that I really hadn't thought about, questioning, what did the family know? Did Victoria, his daughter, really not know? When you look at the dark, morbid art that she has, blending, for example, very, very violent things and saying that sex and violence are two sides of the very same coin, where does that person get that kind of mentality? Is there signs that they knew what was happening in that house, if it was happening in that house? All right, what do we got here? Somebody says, Steel City Vibe, you're my favorite. Love your unfiltered takes, DA. Thank you so much. It's weird hearing people tell me that I'm their favorite. I didn't think I'd be anybody's favorite. It started in the early part of my channel. It started with, you're one of my favorites, which was cool. I was like, wow, I'm super high on the fact that I'm one of your favorites. And then all of a sudden I started getting people saying, you are my favorite. I had the most humbling moment when a YouTube channel bigger than mine tells me I'm their favorite YouTuber. And I was like, really? Like, you're bigger than me? So anyways, thank you so much for that. I appreciate it. With all humbleness, I'm working on trying to take humble, humble compliments and not feel embarrassed about it. So thank you so much. What do you think about Brian Kohberger being in solitary confinement? Thoughts, Lee? I'm in the UK, so not caught up on it. You know, first of all, to me, and this is a side rant. It's an unexpected side rant coming out of me right at this moment. To me, solitary confinement is cruel and unusual punishment. For a person to be locked up for 23 or 22 hours of every single day in a 24-hour period, all by themselves in a tiny room with no windows, is cruel and unusual punishment. That'll drive anybody fucking insane. Anybody. To not have human interaction. So solitary confinement is a cruel punishment, in my opinion. It is almost, one can argue, worse than death. But one can argue that if you did so in a way, if, for example, Brian Kohberger or any person is locked in solitary confinement for the rest of their days, you might as well have just killed them, because they will eventually go crazy in solitary confinement. I certainly would. But anyways, so I don't know if that's where you wanted to go. I don't know that he is in solitary confinement. I've heard people say he will be in solitary confinement. I think there's a period of time where Brian Kohberger will be kept out of general population for his own safety. Because again, despite what people might think, the prison system doesn't really want Kohberger to get murdered the first second he stops into the prison. That would be bad press for the prison system, that they allowed somebody to murder somebody right away. So I assure you, well, I don't assure you, but my gut tells me that the prison system is going to keep Brian Kohberger separated from general pop for a while until they get a handle on it. And they might move him, and this is not unheard of. If his safety is in danger, they might move Brian Kohberger to another prison in another state even, and not tell anybody where he got transferred to. And then they'll quietly release him into the population to see how things go. So they may be protecting him despite what you think. So, all right, what else do we have? At some point, I want to move from Minnesota. Would you recommend Washington or Oregon? And what would you recommend? Holy shit. Yes, sir. Now, first of all, I've been to Minnesota. I've had the pleasure of being to Minnesota, the land of many lakes, and there are indeed a fuck ton of lakes. I've been on somebody's private lake. It was an amazing experience. Minnesota has different weather than we have in Washington and Oregon State. The Pacific Northwest, all I can tell you is I'm absolutely in love with the Pacific Northwest. It is the most amazing place to be. Now, having said that, I haven't been well traveled. I lived in Michigan for a while, where they do tornadoes and they do weather unlike anything I've ever seen in my life. I would take the Pacific Northwest over the Midwest any day of the week. So I would say this. It really depends on. It's an interesting side take, and people are like, "Are we really going to listen to him tell us what city they should live in?" So here's my take on that. Politically speaking, you'd have to tell me whether your interests are politically speaking. If so, I will tell you which side of the state, of what state you want to live in. If your interest is in big cities, I'll tell you which big city is probably the best. If your interest is in small cities, I can tell you so it really depends on your take. But you can't go wrong with a lot of places in Washington and Oregon. They're beautiful, beautiful places that whether you're on the east side or the west side, again, generally speaking, by the way, west side of the state towards the coast is all liberal / democratic big city areas, right? That's where the population centers are. So if you're more liberal slanted and you like big cities, you're going to be on Portland or Seattle area. If you like the small, rural, Republican feel, conservative Christian church kind of community, you'll stay on the east side of the states, where it's more of a conservative conservative atmosphere. So that's your general thing for that. Go. If I see another comment for you asking more specific, I'll give you even better a take on that. So what else? Ghislaine is getting ready to be pardoned. Wouldn't that be a son of a bitch if Ghislaine Maxwell gets pardoned? Let's see. Moon says that my snarky, sarcastic outtakes are what makes me special and unique. Never apologize for being you. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Sometimes when I do say I'm sorry about that, I don't really mean I'm sorry about that. Like sometimes I do. Like if I drop too many F-bombs, I really genuinely mean I'm sorry. I don't need to drop that many F-bombs. Sometimes when I say I'm sorry, I'm just kind of being snarky even about the sorry thing. But sometimes I think it's not coming across that way. Someone's like, sorry about that, but I'm not. It's like, sorry, not sorry. Sometimes I'm not sorry. Hey from Vegas and Annie Ruler, thank you for checking in from Vegas. I love when people tell me where they're from. I love that. I really do. Thank you for telling me that you're checking in from Vegas. I love Vegas, the city that never sleeps. I go there I try to go there once every couple of years. It's funny with Vegas. I always feel like a super draw to Vegas when I'm away from it for too long. But then when I go back, it's a couple nights in Vegas and I'm like, why exactly do I love Vegas so much? I just love people watching. I love the street. I love the shows. I love going to shows. Saw 4 shows, I think, last time I was in Vegas. So thank you for saying, I bet you in Vegas, when you live in Vegas, you get fucking tired of the shows. But anyways, I enjoy the shows that I'm in Vegas. When I go down there, I always try to catch shows. That's what my whole purpose in Vegas is. It's Fremont Street, hanging out with the freaks on Fremont Street. I love people watching on Fremont Street, have some drinks, get a little hammered and watch the drunk show on Fremont Street. Used to be a lot more entertaining when there was free-flowing body parts on Fremont Street. They don't do that so much anymore, but love that atmosphere. It's just crazy, wild time down there. All right, what else do we got? Get back to, you're getting sidetracked. Get back to Kohberger, please. I'm so sorry. Some people do like the side tangent rants, but I get it. So let me just try to focus and see if I get a question on Kohberger exactly. How hot is it there today? And that's for Annie. You have a habit of explaining yourself a lot. So I see where you're at. Yes, I do. I over-explain. I get it. So I'm not going to explain myself any further on that. How you like that? That's a good start, right? All right. So what else do we got? Hey, DA, what are your thoughts on Kaya Boys and possibly involvement in Idaho 4? I do not even know about Kaya Boys. So I am behind the scene Roxy. If that's a new theory coming out, I haven't heard it yet. I am embarrassed to say, but I will see if I can get somebody to educate myself, bring me up to speed. Yeah, I've already started the pre-funk for the after show, the After Dark. By the way, on Friday nights, and this is going to throw me out of whack. On Friday nights, I do an after show, After Dark, on Discord, where I have some drinks and I hang out with you guys and I talk a little bit more vulgar, as if that's humanly possible. Don't ever have children. By the way, as a side tangent, I had somebody who watches my show all the time tell me, oh my God, I had my kids in the car when you talked about Bobbit, and I had to quickly fast forward the thing and turn it off. I was hitting my dash as fast as I can because I don't want my kids to hear that. I am not kid friendly. Never have your kids around me, because you never know what's going to come out of my mouth at any given time. Is there a chance that Epstein is, see, somebody asked me to stay on Kohberger. We can't please everybody every time. So Jeremy, is there a chance Epstein is still alive? In my opinion, absolutely not. I think he's dead, but I do know why people think he's not. I know why people think it was a body double. But my opinion is Jeffrey Epstein is dead. He was silenced, and that's my opinion. But could he be alive? Sure. Oh my God, have I never heard of this case? I wonder what case Joni's talking about. Oh my God, I've never heard of this case. Which case is that? Is that the Rex Heuermann Long Island serial killer case? Oh, I got a super gift. Thank you so much. Let me see if I can, where did that come from? I want to put it on screen and answer the question. Oh my God. So I got a gift. I was going to highlight this and talk about it. And here we go. Dreamcatcher Lee, you're my favorite channel. By the way, let's start with thank you for the support, the super sticker, whatever you want to call it, the cash, the donation to the channel, the donation to doing the right thing. Lee, you're my favorite channel. I'm honored to be a mod. Thank you as well. See, you don't need to earn. You already are doing work for the channel. You're a moderator. My TBI means my runs at 100 miles. Runs at 100 miles an hour. So you're not too much for me at all. That's good, because I run at 100 miles an hour as well. I was diagnosed with frozen shoulder yesterday. I heard that. So I'm off to bed for now. Okay, well, hopefully you got to hear me at least say thank you for your support. Take care of your shoulder. I did hear about the shoulder, so I hope that you're feeling better. Thank you for the support and for being here. All right. It's your show. Talk about whatever the hell you want. See, this is part of that being unapologetic. Quit apologizing to people. I'm sorry, I'm not on Kohberger. Well, fuck you guys. It's my show. I'll do what I want. Is that better? I don't know. That's really unnatural for me. All right. What else do we got? Yeah, some people think that Brian Kohberger would prefer solitary. That may be the case if you believe what they say about him. Peace Cheese said, oh my God, I laughed out loud for real when you said Bob. I'm glad. I throw a lot of humor that apparently only us older folks will get, and I hate to say it, the slightly more intelligent crowd who get subtlety, because I have a lot of subtle stuff in my humor. And I try to say it a little deadpan, so only people who are paying attention to the words that are used, like the BWC body-worn cameras from the Moscow Police Department, which threw my ass for a loop. Anyways, what else do we got? Jill Wimmer says, hi Lee, I've been missing the lives and have to watch them later on. Well, I'm glad to see you got a live. I don't know if it makes a difference to you to get a live. If I don't communicate with you, which I am right now, thank God, because you finally caught a live, and hopefully you're here while I can address you. So Jill, welcome. Hi. Good to see you. Thank you for commenting on the thing. I'm glad you got to catch a live and you got to be able to interact at least a little bit live on air instead of just watching it on replay. But for those who watch it on replay, there's nothing wrong with that. Watching an elite replay, what's the problem with that? What's happening with Luigi? Nothing's happening with Luigi at the moment. Avi Moskowitz, his defense attorney that specializes in the death penalty, recently filed an argument saying that they need to take the death penalty off the table or immediately provide their reasoning why the death penalty is appropriate. And we're still kind of waiting for that to kind of shake out. It's funny that Bertie didn't know Bobbitt. It's funny. I don't know when Bertie was born, but Bobbitt was in the 90s. So maybe oh my God, maybe he literally wasn't born until after the Bobbitt thing happened. But still, you hear about things after they happen. So I don't know. Chappie Boss gave a donation. Thank you so much, Chappie Boss. I think I've seen you comment many times before. Moscow, Idaho, where we take your DNA seriously and seriously take your DNA, which I do love. I do love that. I love that last time I saw that. That's a brilliant. Thank you for bringing that to everyone's attention again. Where we take your DNA seriously and we seriously take your DNA. No shit. The DNA is sketchy as hell in that case. So thank you so much for the gift and for the comment and for the laugh. That was amazing. All right, what else? Yeah, so Jen, at Jen, somebody was talking to Jen, so they're really not talking to me. Maybe we should not put that on there, but I was talking about respect for law enforcement. I have respect for law enforcement as well. Whether you think so or not, if you've heard my comments, you hear me rant a lot about law enforcement, but I have respect for law enforcement. I just don't have respect for dirty cops or bad investigative tactics. Karen Duncans, hey, Devil's Advocate. Hey, thank you for saying hi. Appreciate you checking in. I see your name a lot, so thank you so much. What else do we got here? By the way, I'm kind of working back on stuff, so I missed you earlier. You might have to post something again because unless a moderator can find a way to bring to my attention, I missed something important. I honestly never knew about the hot dog container in the Bobbitt case. I remember that case, and I still heard that cracking up. Yeah, that's a real thing. That's a real thing. What else? Oh yeah, so Dreamcatcher said goodbye with telling people to kiss ass. Haley meant to say, but my digits ran out. Your channel, your format, your rules. Tell everyone who's whining to kiss it. Good night, all. I hope that you have a good rest, and that I think your shoulder was frozen. I hope that gets better. Holy shit. All right, what else? Somebody here, Robin the Redneck says that they've been enjoying, and Robin, by the way, I talk like Robin the Redneck isn't somebody I know. I do know Robin the Redneck. Robin the Redneck helps me out with channel moderation and several things. We have a personal relationship started on the back end, so don't get anything twisted. Like I don't know who Robin the Redneck is, whereas there's someone named Robin the Redneck says, we've been enjoying hearing your book on the LISK book. Can't wait until that case ramps up again. Yes, I'm so excited. I'm kind of coming up to speed on that case myself. Even I am not quite up to, I'm certainly not up to speed, but I get up to speed pretty quick. So I will be there shortly. And pretty soon I will be one of the experts in the case. I can feel confident that I will be one of the experts in the case once we get, once I get a few more books into me and some more interviews and shit like that. We'll be right up there in the top of be on the cutting edge of that case. Yes, you remember Bob, it wasn't Lorena, his wife. Yes, I wonder what happened to them. Still haven't looked them up the other night. Yes, Lorena Bobbitt and John Wayne Bobbitt were the couple. Catching up later from Australia, another Australia person, Australia from down under. It is amazing having our Australian folks come in here. It's amazing how Australia seems to be a particular place of the earth that's hearing us more. I wonder why that is. There's probably a reason. There's probably a legitimate reason why YouTube is catching on in Australia. All right, what else? Thanks for all you do. Leslie and Billy, thank you so much. I appreciate that. What else do we got? I'm wowed by Payne deciding that the K-bar found off the tip called in wasn't the one. There's a lot of weird shit. There's a lot of weird shit in that case. Respect for all good law. I have respect for good law enforcement. Good luck at finding it. Yeah, that's the difficult thing. I mean, that's a difficult thing. Here's the thing. Like, no, I don't even want to go into that. Understood. Understood. Go Winterhawks. Winterhawks, did you just come on now? It's all good. It's all good. To be fair, I was a Tri-City Americans supporter for years. Side tangent, I'll try to be brief. When I moved to Everett, I became an Everett Silvertips fan. So Portland Winterhawks were the rivals of both those teams. So I know what you're talking about. No disrespect for the Winterhawks. I don't have a problem with it. Although I never rooted for them. I was always rooting against them because I was either Tri-Cities, trying to beat the shit out of the Winterhawks. Although, wasn't the Winterhawks, okay, side tangent, I said it was going to be brief and I'm not good at it. Wasn't the Winterhawks that had okay, wait, it's way back. I'm not even going to say it. You're not old enough to remember. There was a particular fighter, an enforcer, who I loved watching fight. And I'm pretty sure, I know that sounds morbid, but I loved watching fights on the ice with Brown and Darby. That's way back in the day. Those fights were epic. Tri-City Americans, and I think it was Portland that had Brown. I think, could be wrong. Anyways, point being is that those were always they would start the hockey game and the gloves would drop on the puck drop, and there would be a fight at center ice. It was fun. Anyways, side tangent. I'm not morbid, but I do like that kind of stuff sometimes. What else we got here? Are you doing Discord tonight? Yeah, I'm already kind of pre-funking right now, and then I got to catch up on a few things that I've got in the wait. I've got some text messages I got to deal with on the side, so I will take care of those, and then I'll shut down the live. I'll get a drink poured, and then I'll get into a Discord sometime soon. I didn't know what I was going to do. Normally, I used to go at 6:30 p.m. for this show or 6 p.m. this show, and then immediately follow with the live. So I don't know exactly when I'm coming into the live. So my Discord channel, let me put that up on screen, by the way. I think this is still a good link. If anybody else has the link, if anybody else knows how to do it and you're on my Discord channel, you can right click on my Discord channel and you can say invite others and copy the link and paste it in so that people can get that. So the After Dark party is just kind of like everybody just has drinks, hangs out, chit chats. You don't have to drink. You can stay sober if you want to. Not everybody does. Sometimes it gets raunchy. Sometimes, like when other content creators are there, there's hundreds of people there. When it's just me, it's more of an intimate thing. I'm an intimate kind of guy. I'm a one-on-one kind of guy. So anyways, so yeah, if you want to hang out and chit chat and share your thoughts and maybe have a drink or two and be really honest and blunt about Ghislaine Maxwell and Jeffrey Epstein, because again, maybe not appropriate on this show, but maybe on the After Dark show. What else we got? CrimeCon. What is this about CrimeCon? They sold 4 to 5 different packages. I looked the highest available at the time. CrimeCon, September 5 in Denver. Chasing refund is too much trouble. Annie, I am going to CrimeCon. I'm going to be at CrimeCon. I bought the cheapest package. Why did I buy the cheapest package? Because the high-end packages were sold out. But I do have myself a ticket for the cheap seats at CrimeCon, my first ever CrimeCon. I'm looking forward to going. I'm going to be there in Aurora, Colorado. They advertise it as Denver, but it's really Aurora, Colorado, as I understand it. And Aurora, Colorado is near and dear to my heart, back to the days of the shooting in Aurora, Colorado, the Batman shooting, the Batman conspiracy. Holy shit, I could go on and on about that, but nobody cares because it's old news. Robin the Redneck, thank you. Robin the Redneck, in the comments, you can copy and paste. I got it pinned on the screen, but you can copy and paste Robin the Redneck's Discord invite. That should be to my Discord channel if you want to hang out. Again, it will be a few minutes before I get into the Discord channel. I got to refresh my drink, catch up on some text messages that are very, very important to me, and then we will get going on the After Dark show. So, what else? MK Ultra shooting. Twizzle stick. MK Ultra. Sir, right off the bat, early in that case, I had problems with a brilliant neurosurgeon candidate who worked with the government on top secret programs for DARPA that they wouldn't even tell you what he was working on, doing classes on temporal illusions on how to basically make somebody have false memories. And he goes in and he says when he did the shooting that it was like he was watching a video game and he felt like he was drugged up, and it was found outside, not resisting, standing there completely in a daze. I said, that motherfucker was programmed to kill. But in the end, we all been told he was crazy after they drugged his ass up in court, and you saw him completely comatose and he couldn't speak for himself because he was so out of his mind drugged. They kept his ass drugged anytime he was on camera, where he had no fucking clue where he was at. Anyways, I said I was going to be brief. I'm not. You're right. If anything smacks of an MK Ultra thing, it's probably a James Holmes. That poor bastard. Maybe. Or maybe he's just a sick person that killed a whole bunch of people. We don't know. Holy shit! Annie just gave away their ticket to CrimeCon to frickin' Twizzle Stick. Well, Twizzle Stick, I might see you there, Twizzle Stick. If you take that up, if you take Annie up on her offer and you end up in CrimeCon, for F's sake, let's meet up and have a drink or something. Let's chat. I'd love to see you again. Thoughts on the Trump's assassination attempt? Are we talking about the way back assassination attempt with the young individual that shot him and winged him in the ear? Are we talking about that one way back then? I'd have to have you clarify before I get in. Is there another assassination attempt? I know there was actually another person that was caught on a golf course, right, that never got a shot off, or maybe he did get a shot off, but it didn't hit him like the other one hit him. Anyways. Twizzle Stick's Twizzle Stick has my attention because he's talking about SSRIs. I could go on and on about SSRIs and what they do to 20-something-year-olds and stuff like that. So anyways, that's a whole other shitstorm. Do I think that LISK is more than one killer? Yes, Robin the Redneck. I think Long Island serial killer is, well, first of all, let me clarify that. I think Long Island, New York area has multiple serial killers dumping bodies. And that's what I think. And so therefore, I think the LISK killer, the Long Island serial killer, those bodies may indeed belong to more than one killer. So that was one of my first questions. Are we sure, even if Rex Kuerman is a killer and has killed multiple women, are they all his? Because the MOs do not fit. The bodies do not all fit his MO. And while they'll try to tell you this is just a serial killer evolving, and that may indeed be the case, early on in this investigation, have a wonder if that isn't multiple killers. And then at the end of the day, just like in this one, are we okay with letting the real killer walk free? Because the easy answer was to find one guy who looks a little creepy and say, you know what, all these murders we're going to say are his, cases closed, we have a great closure record. Look, we just closed hundreds of deaths, if it gets to the point in the hundreds, by just saying Rex Kuerman was the guy, and everybody can feel better, because that does make people feel better. Closure for the families. This guy did it, and he may not have been the only one. And how many people will they overlook because it's an easy answer and it puts people's minds at ease. So I do think that when we're going to find out at the end of the day that Rex Kuerman may not own all those bodies, or any of them, again, because we do have to presume his innocence until proven guilty in a court of law. So what else do we got? Thomas Crooks. Their memory is also removed. MK Ultra. MK Ultra is a thing. I sound a lot like a conspiracy theorist when I talk about MK Ultra, but it's a known government program, so we can't pretend like it doesn't exist. They've admitted to it. Crime Time. Crime Time. The Mean Girls. I loved being part of the Mean Girls. It was a special moment for me. A lot of times I get here's the thing. I don't know what it is, but I seem to, I don't want to say attract women, but I tend to fall in with groups of women. I've always been one of the girls, if you will. So when I found myself in a group of mean girls, and you're jokingly calling us one of the mean girls, that's where I've always lived. I always seem to hang out with the girls. And so it would be great to see you. If you grab a cheap seat, for sure, look me up. Let's have drinks. Let's have lunch. Let's do something. I would love that. I'm going to be there by myself. So having some people who I bump elbows with, YouTubers and stuff like that would be fantastic. I hope that I will see you there. So that'd be cool. Jeannie Romaine says, I live on Long Island, New York. In my opinion, many killers are dumping bodies at that beach. I tend to agree. By the way, I have never been to New York. It's always been on my bucket list. I am going to come out to New York. For the first time in my life, I'm in a position where I can just fly my ass out to New York. And I'm interested in 2 cases in New York. I'm interested in Luigi Mangione at MDC, and I'm interested in Long Island, the serial killer. And so I would like to go put my foot on the ground. So, by the way, if there's any New Yorkers out there who want to show me around and take me to places and show me a few things, because I would rather somebody else drive and show me places, please let me know. I am looking for some tour guides for New York area. So let me know. I'm coming out there. I'm going to shoot for October to come out there. So if anybody can hook up with me, I would appreciate it. Or just give me a list of places to go see on my own, and I'll rent a car and I'll go drive around. Let's see. We're getting towards the end of my live. I got about 9 minutes left. I tend to go about an hour. Has Travis Decker been caught? Travis Decker, as far as I know, has not been caught. I haven't looked recently. Let's see. Do we care to look? Can I do this on the fly? Sounds like 4 days ago, Travis Decker's manhunt has been scaled back due to decreased leads. So I think he's on the run. Or he's killed himself and they haven't found the body. Some of you do not have any clue who Travis Decker is. I might be going to Wenatchee to go check out the early parts of that investigation. I don't know that the reason why it doesn't necessarily hit my wheelhouse is Travis Decker's case, which, for those who don't know, Travis Decker was a military vet who was suffering from PTSD and he had visitation rights for his children. He had been, I think, separated from his wife. He went to go pick up his children, 3 young daughters, I think like 6, 8, and 9 years old, took them to a local park and murdered all 3 of them, and then went on the run. And there's no reason why we know why he murdered his children exactly. And he's been on the run ever since. It's been months that he's been on the run. He's trained in survival and wilderness survival. I believe he's in potentially my neck of the woods. There was early indication that he was going to go to Canada, but there was sightings of him down in Idaho, and potentially going to be in Eastern Oregon, where I'm around. So Travis Decker hasn't been caught. I'm thinking about picking up the case, but again, I don't know that it rings of any element of conspiracy or whatever. It seems like it might be pretty straightforward. However, there are some weird rumors out there that Travis Decker's involved in the Idaho 4 thing. I don't know if I can go there. That sounds like you're making a stretch, but if it's possible, I'm going to get on that, but we'll see. You were so stuck in a group of women. Yes, I was. And I don't know if you knew Crime Time, but I was totally in my wheelhouse there. I am comfortable around women. So I loved being with you guys. It was fantastic. Let's see. What else? Oh shit. Woon gifted more. Woon. Like at this point, I owe Woon money. I owe Woon Woon rent money like you wouldn't believe. This person has supported my channel so much. You sir need to stop because you give too much for my channel. Thank you so much for gifting memberships. I hope you guys took my comment earlier about turning on allowing gifts to be a thing, because those memberships only get assigned to people who actually have gifts turned on. Hopefully you got one of those gifts from Woon Woon. Thank you so much again. And yeah, I mean, thank you so much. Enough said about that. What else do we got? Sounds like I got a mess going on in the other room I got to take care of, which is good that I'm ending my live in about 5 minutes. Satire, you made a live. I'm happy you made a live. It's cool. And again, when somebody's telling me I finally made a live, I need to take a moment to say, because you're not going to get it in the replay, thank you, Satire, for coming in. And I'm super stoked that you're excited about making a live. So thank you so much. If you have a comment, I will try to pay attention to it in the next 5 minutes to if you have a question, because you have made a live. So if you got a question that you've been dying to ask on a live, fire it at me. I'll try to pay attention. Robin the Redneck, I would like this as well. Please make sure you hit the like button, subscribe button if any part of my delivery you dig. If you like quick wit and rants and deep thinking, and the presumption of innocence and defending of your civil liberties and your rights and all those things, please subscribe to the channel. So a lot of people get me wrong when they first hear me. Oh, that son of a bitch is trying to root for killers. That is not the case. If you've listened to me more than one video, you're probably going to figure out you had me figured out wrong. So check out the channel. Give me a chance. I think you're going to dig it. Hopefully you will dig it, and you'll stay with me. Who is... I don't know, Twizzle, if you ask me that. I still want to know if you talked to Ann Jeanette at all. I'm not sure who Ann Jeanette is, and if you're asking me. And so if you're asking me, then I would have to remember who, in context, who Ann Jeanette is. In context. Any other comments? Let's see. How do you get a gift? How do you get a membership? Jill, I think what you need to do, and I don't have it in front of me, I think what you need to do is at the bottom of your live that you're watching, there should be some buttons you can click on in the lower right corner, I think. One of them looks like a dollar sign. If you click on the dollar sign, it's basically how to give gifts, but it also has options for how to receive gifts. It's somewhere in that menu system, if I remember right. Jen asks, have you looked into the Unabomber's Manifesto? Just curious. Yes. On my channel, Devil's Advocates 2024, which I shouldn't have to tell you because you're watching my channel right now. On my channel, there's a playlist called Luigi's Bookshelf. One of the series, the playlist is Industrial Society. That is the manifesto of the Unabomber, Ted Kaczynski. It's called Industrial Society. Now, I started to read that book, and I haven't done another chapter for a while because it got super political. It got into liberalism and the problem with society as liberals and stuff like this, and I got super uncomfortable because I'm like, look, I'm not a political thing. I was reading it because Luigi Mangione made a very positive review of Ted Kaczynski's manifesto. And I thought, if you love the idea of the Luigi Mangione story and trying to understand whether he did it or not, and if he did, why he did it, we should probably read the things that Luigi Mangione found super influential to his life. One of those things being Ted Kaczynski's manifesto. So as you read his manifesto, I'm trying to highlight what would Luigi Mangione have picked out of this? What did he associate with and what he didn't? And my best guess. I started to do that. I have it on my list to continue that book series. It's already started. You can check a couple of long form videos, a couple hours already of the Unabomber's manifesto, but it's super political. It's super... it's kind of anti-liberalism, but yet not. Like a lot of times he says, I don't have a problem with, gay rights or race issues, but these people are defending things so that they can look like the hero, so they can look like they're the defender of somebody who doesn't. And that was one of the as a side tangent, one of the controversial things he said was, if you are not in a suppressed this is a side tangent we shouldn't go down. Point being is that he was trying to explain that people who defend groups that they don't belong to are making that group that they're trying to defend look like you think they're less than. Why do you need to run in there and defend them? Why do you need to be their champion? Do you think that they're not important enough to defend themselves? Why do you think you need to be their champion? So that was the point that he was trying to make. He's like, I don't have a problem with these people. What I have a problem is the people who aren't those people thinking that they need to be your savior. That's already being racist or bigoted in the first place, because you think that they need you to protect them. Hope you followed that logic. Crime time, ha ha ha! It was the best. So glad that I've met you. I'm glad to have met you as well. It was super cool. Knowing you makes your content 100 times better. Thank you so much. You keep me laughing. We had a great time. I want to say, you have a fantastic, bubbly personality. You are full of piss and vinegar. I digged it about you. It was great meeting you as well. So thank you for sharing that line with me that night, or that day, or that night and that day. It was great meeting you. What else? Last minute question. I'm looking for last minute questions. Satire. Does Satire fire in something? Fire. I told Satire. Oh, here we go. Shit. I told Satire I'd be looking for a question. I missed it. And then Satire asked a question. I'm like, I don't even know what the hell you're talking about. Have you ever wondered about the kitchen stools jammed in between the patio door? I do not know about the kitchen stool. You came out of the booth. I tell you, ask me a question. I'm going to focus on you. And then you ask me a question. I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, I must have missed it. Maybe it's in a document I haven't done yet. So what else? Last minute questions I'm looking for. Anything else? New member, somebody became a new member. Jill, thank you so much for becoming a new member. That's super cool. I don't know if you got a gifted membership or whether you signed up for a membership. Either way, enjoy the membership. There's lots of member-only content. But for those of you who think that I'm keeping the important shit to members only, that's not true. If you check out the member stuff, if you get a chance, you will find that it's not stuff that other people can't. It's not the important stuff. It's the stuff that's like, hey, I'm not going to go to a large group of people with this, but if you want to get my opinions, like, for example, somebody asked me recently what my opinions were on a psychic, a medium who's talking to telepathically, if you will, or whatever, to one of the victims in Idaho 4. Well, that kind of thing is not something I'm going to go live with to the public audience because it's kind of a little bit far from my show. But in a members only area, I'd be like, hey, look, somebody asked me to talk about this medium, what I think about it. And so I did that. And so that's the kind of stuff that I will share with members only. All right, what else? Last minute questions. Can you try to have a great weekend? I don't know if you're not talking to me, but yes, I am freaking working on it. I've got a lot of stressors going on in my life, but I will try to have a good weekend. It starts with tonight's After Dark show, maybe, hopefully, maybe. I'm doing the after. I'm gonna get a drink. I'm gonna catch up on some very important text messages that I've got waiting for me, and then I'm gonna go ahead and jump into the After Dark party. So give me about maybe 30 minutes, and then I'll be in the After Dark party, and we'll be there for probably hours. So we'll see how that goes. So people are talking about the stools. I believe law enforcement put the stools there at the sliding glass door. A friend who's seen Derek Shouk's photos shows stools not there, and then there as the LE did the investigation. So law enforcement may have moved the stools. It may not have been part of the original crime scene, it sounds like. I haven't even heard about the stools. Maybe it's because I haven't read 117 more documents and I have to catch up. Mediums are demonic. Let me say one thing about that, and then I'm going to close the show. The reason why I don't go to a public audience with stuff about mediums is because I know it's a sensitive topic for a lot of people. I understand that. A lot of you don't want to touch it with the 10-foot pole. And so I try to keep it as one of those things that is like between the people who ask for that kind of stuff, I will share it. But it's not for the wider audience. So I get it. I appreciate your feelings and your sentiments on it. However, of course, keep in mind not everybody feels the same way about it, so be respectful of that. But the point being is that that's why exactly it didn't go to the great big audience, because I was like, that's kind of a niche thing that I need to be careful about, because it's going to hurt a lot of people's feelings, and they're not going to feel comfortable. And already I have a hard time keeping a lot of Christians because I drop too many F-bombs and I tell dirty jokes, because I'm kind of a freak. So anyways, that's it for tonight. Thank you so much for signing up for my channel. Those of you who became new members, thank you for those who caught the live for the first time. Always thank you, by the way, for the people who share with me the location that you're dialing in from. I love hearing that. Thank you to my friends in line, that Twizzlestick and Crime Time, and those who are with me in line who showed an interest in our show and watched my show and shared with me a great day at the courthouse. And with that, I will sign off. Again, going to the After Dark show on Discord. Hope you want to check it out. If not, I will probably see you again on Monday when I start dropping regular videos. And well, there'll be videos on Sundays for members only. By the way, that's one more thing, member only perk. One of the perks I have, every single Sunday, I write letters to the prisoners who I'm covering their cases. So I write a letter to, of all people, Rex Heuermann, the Long Island serial killer, allegedly. I write a letter to Luigi Mangione every single Sunday. I write a letter to Brian Kohberger every single Sunday. And on Sunday, I read those letters to you for members only. It's a private little thing. If those people ever write back to me, that'll be a members only area. Again, it's just something for members. It's kind of a something we do. So it's one of those little perks on the side, not for the bigger audience, but something you would get if you sign up for members only. That's it. I'm going to quit ranting. I have almost never stopped talking, and I got to take a breath, and I need a drink. That is it. Have a good night.